Hey guys, welcome back. It's Maverick here today with the grand finale of 86. Yes, it has been a long time coming, delayed many months, but we are finally here. I'm not really sure what to expect of this episode, right? Last episode, 10 out of 10 for me. I absolutely love how it was done. And by the way, I do see some guys commenting on, the fact that Lena and Shin and the rest of the 86, they haven't really met each other, so they don't know how each other looks like, right? I kind of caught on to the fact on my rewatch. So I do talk a little bit about it in my musings section. So you guys can take a look there. Within the actual blind watch itself, I didn't quite realize that. I mean, when I actually finally realized it, my mind was kind of blown. So but in any case, that just makes the scene even more awesome in a lot of ways. But anyways, beyond that, I'm really curious what they are going to do in this episode, right? Because I feel like with the end of last episode, Shin is being, he's pretty adamant that he doesn't want to meet Lena yet, right? And he wants their real meeting to be something on after achieving something ? So the only thing I can think of right now is maybe they are going to be mounting an offensive to regain the lost territories of the Republic, right? I assume that they've been cut off from the rest of the nations. Maybe they're going to try to plow through and open up a sort of a ground rendezvous, some sort of ground connection between the different nations. And then maybe as they get into the capital, that's when they will make their grand reunion. Otherwise, I don't really see what else we are going to be doing in this episode. Obviously, we need to have the aftermath of the previous mission and all that. But Shin has got himself back on his feet. He has something to fight for. He has something to strive for now. Lena is okay, and it seems that the various human nations are now working together to mount a counteroffensive against the Legion, right? So I'm guessing we're mostly going to be setting up things for the next season, if there is one. I'm not really sure if there is one. I certainly hope there will be one. But yeah, in any case, let's put that on the back for now and get right into the episode. All right, let's begin in 3, 2, 1, play. Oh, Christmas Eve. Actually, how long was this after? I actually can't remember when that mission actually started. Oh, they're all saying I'm home. He must be thrilled. Look at him. It's I'm such a proud father. There should be quite a few, at least quite a few weeks after, right? In all honesty, I don't know. Oh, what did a cookbook or Shin? Hmm. Oh, this is sort of like a callback to when they initially got here, right? And the dude was like, "Hey, you guys just be normal children and whatnot." But that was what they were doing, right? But was Shin cooking? Why do I not remember Shin cooking? Ooh, French toast. I think. Is this supposed to signify they can't believe he can cook? Alright. Theo's an artist. Yay, we had a great Christmas. That makes sense. Foreign. Foreign officer? Wouldn't that be Lena? Like, what other foreign officer is there? Wait, really? Okay, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm you know, struggling to think of any other foreign commanding officer there could be that the rest of them are okay with. But if that's the case, what was the point of last episode and them not never mind. Never mind. Maybe there's something important I'm forgetting. By the way, Yojo Senki vibes, Independent Strike Force. They're talking about his abilities. Yeah. I can't think of anyone beyond Lena unless they're going to introduce some other backstory right now. Like, who else commanded him? Or has the boss commanded him? This is the dude with the sister, right? Oof. 17 years old. Deaf at 17 years old. Yep, the sister. I guess, you know, he needed to get closure from this. Oh. Is he gonna come apologize? By the way, I really love the piano here. Right, like I said, we need to get closure, right? I'm like, it's okay. No, I'm sorry. Alright. Into the light. I wonder if this is going to also play a role in the future as well. What, the Reaper sign? I mean, as long as you're reaping, like, the enemy and not your own friends. Oh, I didn't realize it was actually Theo that drew all of them. Okay, a few months later. Holy time skip. Alright. Hmm? Alright, so we are getting the credits now? So I guess we are then going to get into Lena's story? Carry on their will. Handler 1. Yeah, that's Lena, isn't it? Oh, actually... Okay, so this is right after Christmas? So, like, literally a few days after Prince's story? Like, what they were doing? Huh, she's back at the capital, eh? You know, I really, really want to see, like, Lena's perspective of all the events, right? Like, like the fall of the Republic, how she held out, how she led the resistance, that kind of thing. Oh damn, the father actually also died quite young, not even 40 years of age. Yeah, see, like, I want to see this! I want to... Oh, please tell me that they are going to be showing this. Like, Lena's grown into such a badass. I just want to... I want to see more of her story. Only took a week. Oh. After 2 months, rescue came. Okay. Yeah, so yeah, they were driven out of the capital, right? And then became like a resist. Well, you only have yourself to ask for that. Oh, she's a colonel now. Yeah, so it is her. But then what? And why is this guy being so patronizing about all this? Wait, but then why do we have the? What was the whole point of the last episode if they're gonna meet immediately in a few months? But and please tell me we are going to be seeing like what happened in between. Yeah, like I want to see this. I want to watch that. Well, you gotta thank Shin and the others for that. Could it be? Could it be? Hmm? Oh hey, you're coming as well. Ooh, that's gonna be a little bit spicier, right? Because the family that she did her experience on and whatnot, it's Shin's family, right? Oh, hey, it's her crew. By the way, that streak of red in Lena's hair. What? Hmm. Nope, sure she is. They're staying anonymous. That's their big surprise to her. Like, okay, okay. Yeah, like, what happened to her hair? Is that supposed to be significant? Was I blind like the entire time and I didn't notice her red hair? Was that there last episode? It wasn't, right? Like, is she becoming a colored? Because is that supposed to have significance somehow? Oh, why are we having an opening right now? Bloody Regina. Oh, the makeshift graveyard. She recognizes these, right? Yeah, there was those call signs. Those were like the last to go, right? Before Shin and the others. So what are we? It's still today, isn't it? They're talking about Lena, right? Are they seen her now? I'm sorry, Karina. You are not winning this fight. See, this guy knows what he's talking about. Wait, so I don't. Are they meeting right now? Yeah, they're meeting right now, aren't they? Lena doesn't recognize them, right? Actually, the only one who truly recognizes her is. Well, no, even. Oh, they are gonna reveal. Oh, oh, she is definitely gonna cry, isn't she? Yep, here he comes. But honestly, how are they supposed to like? This isn't exactly a hugging scene or anything, right? That kind of not really work. Look at the red around his eyes. He's about to cry as well. Oh, look how protective he is. And they're all about to cry here. And she's like, who are you? Were they trying? I mean, yeah, there is romance here, but like obviously they're not gonna be like hugging each other or holding hands. Like this is literally the first time meeting each other, right? And hey, it's great that they are actually both quite attractive as well, isn't it? But all right, all right, all right. Well, hey, how's that for a happy ending, right? Anyways, I'll see you guys after this. Well, alright guys, like I said, how is that for a happy ending? Definitely a far cry from like the early parts of the series and whatnot, where it's always like despair and people being down, people being killed and whatnot. Now it's all bright and sunshine, walking towards the future, right? I mean, I'm sure nobody will argue that that was definitely a happy ending, even though the series is not over yet, and I don't think anything in regards to the second season has been announced yet either. At least I didn't really see the last time I checked on the various forums and whatnot. Like maybe there's some rumors that I haven't really dug deep enough for. But in any case, my first biggest question for this episode actually is, if they're going to be meeting right here, like literally one episode later, what was the whole point of Shin not not speaking out and calling out to Lena in the last episode? Like, I literally thought it would be a lot. I mean, to be fair, there was a time skip here, right? So that was during the time when I believe, basically, in the last episode, that was at least a few months ago, right? So during that time, that was when presumably Lena first made her rendezvous with the other nations, and then managed to convince them to help and retake the capital, right? Retake the first district. So I guess in that aspect, you could say that, because that was what I was originally going for, right? I thought that they wouldn't make the reunion until, like, maybe they were victorious and pushing the Legion back, and then getting back to the first district once again, getting back to capital once again, right? Because last episode, it was kind of implied that Lena and the others, they were sort of like the resistance forces, like, they were already broken down, sort of beaten, but they're now doing some sort of guerrilla warfare or things like that against the Legion, right? So that's why I thought, okay, it kind of makes sense if, we save that reunion. Or can you technically call it a reunion if they never met in the first place? But anyways, you guys know what I mean. Like I thought they were saving that moment for when they were victorious and bringing peace, at least some semblance of peace to the Republic, and using that like as a sort of milestone. So the fact that they actually achieved that here, and the fact that we seemingly have skipped through like some pretty damn important scenes and warfare and whatnot, I do have to wonder and question, like, were these scenes, like, did the entirety of Lena's resistance, how she held on during the day of the assault all the way until they managed to take back the first district and achieve some semblance of government there, like, was that all cut out from the anime? Did they actually go into that part in depth in the light novel? I would certainly hope so, because I feel like that would kind of build up Lena's character and this particular meeting scene a lot more, right? If we also have the time, think about it. If instead of immediately after last episode, we instead had like another full season, like 12 episodes just of Lena and what she was doing during this entire time, right? During the events of this second part of the season. Like how more awesome would this particular scene be when we see like everything that we already saw, everything that Shin's side has gone through, and then later on we see everything that Lena's side has gone through, including the time that has passed between her initially meeting Shin, inadvertently, until now formally meeting him, right? Like, I just feel like there should have been that sort of a foundation being laid instead. So I'd be really, really surprised if this was actually not in the light novel either. Yeah, I would be very, very surprised by that. By the way, 86 is a light novel, right? I kind of forgot about that as well. Yeah, it's a light novel. It's not a manga. It's a light novel. All right. So yeah, I would hope that that was what that those scenes actually appeared in the light novel, and like if it was in text form, I would guess like maybe one book later we get to this union scene, right? Something of that sort, because it's certainly quite emotional in of itself, but I do think that the emotions could be brought even more if we purposely postpone this to many episodes later, or many chapters later, right? As it is right now, I'm just kind of like I have lots of question marks right now. More not in like I don't see what's happening, more in the point of if they are going to be meeting in this episode anyways, what was that entire point of keeping the secret and being stubborn about it in the last episode, right? So I just find it quite funny in a lot of ways. So yeah, so I guess talking about this particular episode, we do have a nice callback at the beginning, to when they first came here, going about doing their own stuff, and it kind of shows them making peace with each other as well. Like the Shin and the others, they recognize that hey, the dude just wants them to have a good life and whatnot, and the Prez also recognizes that they want to go on the battlefield, and so they kind of reach a compromise with each other, right? So that's nice and all. Obviously, we also have like the closure scene with Shin and blaming himself on the death of others and whatnot. I guess that was necessary, even though once again I wasn't really a big fan of that entire subplot in the second part of the season in the first place. In fact, that would probably be my biggest critique of the second part of the season. But it was necessary. It was necessary, and I do have to wonder if that is going to be significant later on down the road. Maybe them also providing support in a pivotal moment. Maybe not necessarily on the battlefield, but maybe somewhere else or whatnot, making a difference, right? Typically, a lot of stories like to use these sort of seemingly side characters and bring them back later on to have a pivotal moment within the story. So I guess that is something to watch out for, or it could be literally just a one-off thing. If it is, then it's really not all that important, to be honest. And then to the point of I guess finally we get to Lena's story, right? And again, like I think she's such a badass, and I love the fact that they gave her so much character growth from the naive and very happy-do-lucky kind of girl from the very beginning of the series to now, she knows what to do to get shit done, right? She's now literally called Bloody Regina, for Pete's sake, and certainly she has earned the respects of both the 86 and those of the normal citizens alike. Well, I guess technically they're all of the Republic now, but you guys know what I mean. And so I do wish we could have had more in terms of her story. Like, I don't know, maybe they're going to make it into an OVA or something, question mark. That would be swell as well. I just want to see more of her, honestly. So we get to her side of the story a little bit. The one thing, now I can kind of get, right? The tensions are high right now. The fact that the citizens, they were those of the Republic, they were told for so long that they are the actual, like, the coloreds, the 86 are beneath them and whatnot, and now we have this sort of cultural clash. But then we see the bad that's happening right now, but then we also see the good, right? So Lena also sees the good. Hey, there are people who are trying to work together to finally wash away the hatred and reunite the people and all that kind of good stuff. That part is all fine and dandy and whatnot. I am kind of curious, like, what was that entire scene with her against her superior officer, right? Like, obviously, we know that tensions were high originally, but, like, I mean, sending her off to the Confederacy, like, what's the big... I don't get, like, what's with being so nervous about that. Is it because this sort of assignment is also kind of like a it's a very harsh and suicidal kind of assignment, because she's being put under this sort of strike force that's supposed to be like elite, maybe more like maybe supposed to do very dangerous missions. Is that why? So he's nervous that he's doing something like this, or maybe See, that's the thing, right? Because we don't see Lena's side of the story, we don't really understand this entire dynamic that they have right now. I mean, I would venture a guess and say that Lena being like the commander of the resistance and whatnot, and being the one who made contact with foreign countries and brought help back, like maybe she has this standing within the people now, within the army, that could potentially, like, she could very well like pull a sort of a coup to power, right? A coup de grace or whatnot, and let herself rise to be the actual queen, right? Not just the figurative queen, the literal queen, or something of that sort. So maybe that's why her commanding officer is kind of being nervous here, because he knows she can't really be controlled by him anymore. Like, I feel like that's the best kind of context, that's the best kind of guess we can get with limited context, right? We really need to see what exactly happened within these few months to really get an idea of the the severity of what that means, and the fact that Lena, being one of the main proponents of doing away with segregation and discrimination, and trying to unite the coloreds and the others, the non-coloreds, the fact that she is actually now going to the Confederacy, is that going to cause some sort of power vacuum or some sort of power dynamic shift within the Republic as well, right? The politics of this, I'm certain that this series actually has that in spades as well, although unfortunately we're probably not going to get into that here, and unless there's another season or whatnot. So anyways, the actual reunion scene and all that, I mean, what more to say? Just feel the emotions, right? Like, feel the emotions. Again, some caveats I do still have, like, I wish we could have really drawn this out a little bit longer, actually, since you're already trying to do this anyways. I do find it kind of funny, and last episode I already mentioned, right? They're all basically teasing the fact that Lena and Shin are kind of sort of becoming a thing here, right? And you can absolutely see the chemistry between these two. And once again, good thing that they're both very attractive, right? But beyond that, like, what else? I do find it quite funny in a lot of ways. How like I said, how exactly are they supposed to greet each other, right? Are you supposed to like hug, like handshake, like what, right? And the very ending there with their hands like sort of reaching towards each other, I that was a little bit too much, right? I get that they were trying to make it into the shape of 8 and 6 and whatnot, but still a little bit too much. But I have to admit, it was entertaining. Alright, but in any case, that's it for this episode. Now, what about this second part as a whole, right? And heck, maybe even this series as a whole. Like, I love it. I absolutely love it. I was already a huge fan for part 1 of 86. I thought, honestly, all the way until like maybe the last 5 or 6 episodes of the second part, in my mind, the first part was still superior, just because the bluntness and the ruthlessness of the situation, and how you really feel like you're being thrown into a war situation, right? I really dig that. So in that part, I really liked it. The beginning of this second part, like I said, one of my main complaints is actually, trying to push this entire discrimination angle once again. I feel like the author was trying a little bit too hard on that part, and on that front, where I don't really think it makes sense within the context of these countries and what they're fighting for, and of the people as well. So I didn't really enjoy that entire aspect of things, but certainly once they got things rolling and they started going out once again, to battle, to fight, all the way up to, like, basically to the entirety of this Morphous mission, if you will. That's the part that really got me back once again, and these last few episodes, including like the big finale against Kirya, and the first contact between Shin and Lena, and then finally this episode, like that, these were just bangers, like all the way through, right? I mean, don't get me wrong, even though I do really wish that we could have had Lena's story as an interlude behind the last, or after the last episode. I mean, I still enjoy this, so it's just that I just wish that they could have done more to bring it up as well. And I'm gonna find it really funny if some of you guys eventually tells me that the author actually did not write anything in regards to what Lena was doing at this time. So basically just time skip everything. If it is the case, then I gotta say I am very, very sad. But hopefully by this point I've made my point across here. The sort of build up towards the second part, Shin's internal struggles and all that, all the way until we see him finally snap out of it in the last episode and this episode as well. That was a nice touch, even though again, I'm not really that big on these sort of internal struggles, at least for this kind of thing. Like Lena's kind of case, where you're obviously being very stupid about things, and then having a wake up call, and then basically stealing yourself and forcing yourself to grow up and whatnot. Like, I like that kind of story. This kind of like wallowing in self doubt and whatnot, and needing someone to give them a slap. I'm more meh on that kind of story. I know some people like it, and it's character growth and yada yada yada, but still, it's not exactly my favorite type of storyline or type of trope. So I didn't care too much for that, and also the entire Federica Kiria thing as well. I was kind of meh about everything, but hey, all's well in the end, right? Now with this actual like ending here, with these last 3-4 episodes, it's a tough call. It's a tough call now whether or not I like part 1 more than part 2 or part 2 more than part 1. I'm honestly like, part 2 has higher highs and lower lows, while part 1 is more smooth in between. So it's a hard call. It's a hard call. I think equally as good. 86 itself, definitely a great series. Regardless of my misgivings onto some of the parts and some of the storylines, I feel like it definitely touches on a lot of topics. It touches on a lot of subjects. I really enjoy the fact that the author's trying to draw real life parallelisms, to Nazism and so on and so forth. And we have some actual political situations here as well. It's not just pure fighting and not just pure drama and whatnot, but you actually have these sort of these political dealings and so on and so forth. It has a little bit of the supernatural with the Legion and all that. It's sci-fi, and then of course we also got romance in it, right? And like I was saying in the last episode, I enjoy romance a lot more when it's actually you kind of discover it along the way alongside the main story, rather than it being the focal point of the series. So something like this and seeing the blossoming romance between them, like I absolutely enjoyed that. Although I do wonder what's going to how we are going to continue this in the future as well, right? Now that Lena is being the commanding officer, and what exactly is their group dynamic going to be in the future, right? But that we can only like purely speculate at this point, unless of course read the light novel and so on and so forth. I love the character designs. I would have loved if we had a little bit more information in terms of the Legion and in terms of the the mechs as well. Maybe really go into nitty gritty onto the various tactics they can use. The difference between the Legion and an actual soldier, like what are the tactics they use. More of this military nerd kind of stuff, right? I do enjoy that part as well. Just like I was nerding out in the previous episodes in regards to the super weapon, as well as some other sort of like experimental weapons that the humans actually have, the Confederacy actually has. So I would have enjoyed if we delved into that part a lot more as well, but it is what it is. The rest of the storyline, like even in the first part, I wasn't all too keen on the entire brother story. Like, I understand it's an important backstory and whatnot, but I don't feel like it was really portrayed properly and so on and so forth. But beyond that, still, it's enjoyable in terms of its story, at least for me anyways. And we gotta end this sort of review in trying to end it and trying to summarize it. We have to mention, right, the sound design and the visuals. Like, oh my god, like probably the visuals is something that a lot of people are going to be focusing on, and definitely to me, it kind of comes and goes, right? There are some parts of it that I'm absolutely stunned by how they, both in how it's drawn, right, how it actually looks visually, but also in this sort of cinematography that they utilize in order to pan through the shots and whatnot. They really make it into a sort of art form, honestly. So I really enjoy those parts, and then the sound design as well. I think I forgot to mention it in the last episode actually. Like the sound is, they utilize it very, very well, right? And I'm not just telling you about the swelling moments, like the parts where they have like the openings and endings coming in, or those with lyrics, like even in this episode, the piano parts and whatnot, and those, that was only for this episode. It's consistently great throughout this entire series, and I love it. And even the usage of silence and dissonance as well, like using some very harsh chords, conflicting chords and whatnot to generate like that uneasiness, and to generate that sort of feeling of fear and aberration. I do feel like this series really fires on all fronts, right? The story itself, right, the subject matter itself is really solid. The development is solid. And you throw in good character designs, you throw in the romance, you throw in the visuals, you throw in the sound and whatnot. Like, it's just a great series. It is an absolute great series. And I guess that's all I can say for the end of this. So anyways, thank you guys. I hope you guys have enjoyed this series so far, and especially thank you guys if you came back even after all those months. Do feel free to check out my other stuff as well. I am on a little bit of a, I wouldn't really say hiatus, but I am sort of like drawing back on the amount of anime I do per season, at least for these last 2 seasons. I'm still trying to see if I can increase my output next season, but that kind of really depends on real life conditions. But in any case, do feel free to stick around and see if I watch anything that you guys that you guys would like. I do enjoy a lot of war stuff as well, like Yojosenki and Girls and Panzer and whatnot. Although whether or not I will continue to I will watch any new series, again, all dependent on schedule. And if not, well, hopefully I can meet you guys once again someday, sometime. Hey, hopefully in another season of 86, if there is one, right? Until then, though, this has been Maverick of Musings and Maverick, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.